How scary is this butcher with a sigh? He dragged the woman alive into the warehouse. He tied her neck with a belt. The woman could only moan as she was strangled. Then the butcher took a 10 centimeters thick steel nail, stitching up the woman's mouth. She cried out in pain, but what was even more horrible was yet to come. The butcher made a scarecrow out of the woman, tied in the cornfield. A crow flew by and landed on the woman's head and began to peck at the flesh of her face in a frenzy. In this cornfield, there were down scenes of other scarecrows like this. In the eyes of the butcher, these are all works of art. On this day, two couples came to the countryside for a vacation. Suddenly, an unidentified object fell from the sky. Jack took a closer look, but it was a finger. They were completely unaware of the danger. In order to keep the girls from finding it, Callan kicked the finger into the car. The four of them were ready to go to the lake to play, but the roadside said no passing. They were young and wild. That didn't stop them at all. 10 minutes into the road, they saw a cornfield. There were many scarecrows in the cornfield. The strange thing is, the scarecrows that were supposed to keep the birds away, but attract crows together. Jack thought it was very strange, but Erin thought the crows were cute. When she got closer, she found the crows were eating human fingers. She immediately panicked. Callan said it was nothing to be afraid of. The group moved on. They came to a beautiful lake, immediately jumped into the lake, and had a water fight. All the unpleasantness from before was gone. But not far away in the cornfield, a man in a flak sack was running for his life, as if there was something scary behind him. He ran in the cornfield for a long time. He still couldn't find the exit. Suddenly there was a strange whistling sound. A butcher with a scythe appeared behind him, and now it was too late. He could never escape the butcher's hand. The butcher raised his scythe. A knife sent the men to heaven. Here the two lovers have lost their strength. Send the boys to get the car. The girls were left to rest where they were. They ran wildly back to the road, but found the car had disappeared. They started arguing, even started to fight. Fortunately, the two girls arrived in time. Stopped the fight. They discussed getting help. Suddenly, they saw a farmer in the cornfield across the street. Four people shouted loudly but did not get a response. They ran desperately to get there. By the time they got there, the farmer was gone. The men decided to climb over the fence. The first three people made it through. Callan accidentally got stuck. He was no longer a man. Jack rushed up to help. By now, Callan's girlfriend had already given up on him. A few people entered the cornfield. Callan was placed under the scarecrow. Lucy volunteered to take Jack to get some help. They walked through the endless cornfield. The house is just around the corner. Suddenly, Lucy held Jack tightly. An hour later, they remembered they had to go get help. But the next moment,
what the hell?
the cruel butcher drags the woman away, straps her to a gaming chair, takes out a steel needle, sews her mouth shut and punches her unconscious. Then he put a linen bag over her. Jack didn't get away with it either. The butcher nailed him to a stake. He was also made into a scarecrow. At that moment, Erin heard the screams and came inside. She found her boyfriend being treated like this. She covered her mouth and didn't dare to make a sound. She ran out of the house. When she returned to the cornfield, she found that Callan had also been made into a scarecrow. By now, the butcher was slowly approaching. Erin could only continue to run for her life. Just out of the cornfield, she tripped and fell unconscious. When she woke up, she found a car parked on the side of the road. There was a man in the car. She crawled forward desperately, no matter how loudly she shouted. It was useless. The man in the car had loud music playing. He couldn't hear Erin's cries for help. She was about to succeed. The butcher appeared and grabbed at Erin. She didn't escape her horrible fate either. She became a scarecrow. This is the end of the movie.